I wish that I could just wish away my feelings, but I can't.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
Hurts my feelings.
Haunted by big sand in my very soul. Sand. Are you suffering as much as I am?
Sand
I
hurts
can't
my
breathe.
feelings.
Tormenting me. I'm in agony.
Sand hurts my feelings.
I don't like sand.
Hello, and welcome to The Sand Hurts My Feelings, a Star Wars podcast from a Swiftie point of view. I'm your host, Alex.
And I am your other host, Sarah. And today we're going to be talking about Padmé Amidala and our picks for her from Taylor's 9th studio album, Evermore.
Yes, but the first thing we have to mention is, it is not today, but we are now on the Sunday of Taylor Swift Liberation Weekend.
I was so surprised when we got the news Friday that she now owns all of her music.
Yes, it's so insane. We've been taking the weekend to process, and we actually amazingly got to go to Des Moines Con and had a panel there, and we were able to kind of process with other fans, which was really nice because, yeah, it is so wonderful and overwhelming that, like, all of her Taylor's versions and the Eras tour and everything led to this. This was the goal of making herself and her name strong enough that she could purchase back all her music.
Yes, and just how much she has wanted this, and for how long she has wanted this, and how much she's helped advocate for others in the music industry to be advocates for themselves, to have, own their own music and to try to incorporate that into their contracts as they can. And just like, I am so happy for her.
Yeah, and as we have also been, we can all stop clowning for Reputation, Taylor's version, because we have been doing it on the podcast, but because she has said that she is not going to release Reputation as a Taylor's version, which I totally understand and respect and am actually like really happy about, but also like we're excited for the vault tracks. But that is a thing that I do want to put out there, that there are certain fans that are unhappy that we're not going to get Reputation Taylor's version. And if that's you and you're like mad at her for not releasing it, like, then you haven't been riding with her, because this is what it was all for. Like, her Taylor's versions, like, now that she has bought her old versions, that does not diminish the Taylor's versions, but it gives you now options to pick which ones you want. And there's an amazing meme or an amazing reel that we shared on the podcast of how actually poetic it is that she was able to do all of this re-recording, but she was able to keep her reputation and keep her name in the she didn't have to re-record Reputation or her debut album, which has announced that she's probably going to release Taylor Swift debut as a Taylor's version because it's already done. But just like, that is so cool, and she deserves all of this.
Yes, 100%. Like, I just can't imagine how much pride she has, and it has to feel freeing to it's not just the masters, like you were saying. It's everything. It's the music videos, it's the recordings of the concerts, it's all of these pieces that she now owns and controls, and that has to feel so freeing.
Well, because a lot of those videos, they're owned and you can reproduce them, but they are not easy to get. They're like the only one. They are hard to find, and often a lot of fans have to buy them bootlegged on like eBay and stuff like that. Like, so the fact that she can now, if she wants, put them all on a certain streaming service or split them up, but like give people the options to actually watch these videos, like, that would be amazing, because then it would also get people who were unable to go to those concerts the ability to see what they were like, but it still gives the people who are there that kind of, we had this moment, we know exactly what it felt like, but this is only a small taste.
Right, it's the memory of it. I do have to share, I am to share a little bit more about myself here, I do enjoy needlepoint and cross stitch, and I am part of a Taylor Swift cross stitch group on Facebook. And I have to really appreciate, because someone was working on a project for, like, in this house we listened to Taylor's version, and they were doing a needlepoint of all of the different album covers for Taylor's versions. And they're like, well, now what do I do with the space that I left for Reputation? And I do appreciate that person was thinking about just doing a big old clown emoji in that spot.
That is perfect, because we were all clowning for it, and then she's like, and we were all convinced that it was coming next, and then she's like, I'm not even a quarter done. So
yeah, and I'm just like, we as Swifties cannot cool it, because it's like, as soon as we get the news that she owns all of her masters, she doesn't need to release the Taylor's versions of the last two that would need to be recorded and released. We're like, did you see how many eyes were in that letter? It's the 12th album, baby. It's coming out. And we're like, oh my gosh, we cannot sit still for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we can't just let her breathe. No, she's planned. She's got something coming. And you're just like, no, we need to kind of chill out a little bit.
Yeah, just like, good grief. And it's like, this is why she wrote in the songs, like, as the fans were screaming more. I'm like, my gosh, we are such the problem.
Yeah, agreed. That is, I will say that is one of, like, it's a I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, to me, is a song that is misrepresented by a lot of fans, because I think it is an actual, like, I think she still loves us all and everything, but, like, it is a shot at us of, like, chill out. Like, I know she loves giving us Easter eggs and stuff like that, but I'm like, she's also like, I was going through the worst time of my life, and you were all just kind of chanting more. And it's been appropriated of, like, oh yeah, this is me in my life, and, like, this is mental health stuff. And I'm just like, this isn't a positive view on mental health. Like, this is her saying of, like, I was overwhelmed. I shouldn't have to do this, and I did.
Right. It's tongue in cheek. Like, I think, yes, there, like, I think that I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's tongue in cheek. Like, ha ha ha, look at me do these things and power through. And it's like, she shouldn't have had to do that.
And no one should. Like, that's the thing of, like, it's being co-opted of, like, oh, this is what I do, ha 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 ha. And you're like, you shouldn't have to. We shouldn't be powering through. You should be able to process and feel all of the emotions that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
In this household, we struggle with that on both ends.
Yeah, we do.
So that's why that's why I'll say on my end of, like, that's why TTPD hits real hard with me. It's the processing of all the different emotions.
Yeah, just I think we do this every few episodes. PSA, like, give yourself a break, give yourself some grace, do a little bit of a mental health check, and we're all in this together, friends.
Yeah. If you need a pick-me-up, let us know on Instagram or anything. We'll send you awesome, fun Taylor memes or reels or just fun cat stuff. Because that is literally our Instagram is Taylor Swift stuff, Star Wars, and little cat or little kitten videos, or sometimes pigs, because Sarah likes pigs.
I do really like pigs. It's a really good corner of the internet to be in.
Piglets, I guess, would be more specific. She's okay with bigger pigs, but piglets she loves.
Yeah, piglets. Yeah, piglets are where it's at, man.
And ducks.
Yeah. Basically,
anything adorable.
Yes. Yeah, cute animals are a great part of the internet to be part of.
And we are gladly a part of that section. So, but as I sort of mentioned a little bit for half a second in there, we were at Des Moines Con this past weekend, and we met up with some amazing fans. And most of them, I think, were new. Not many had really listened to us before, and so hopefully we have exposed some people to the podcast. And I know we at least got one new listener, maybe a couple. But even if we didn't, we got a lot of comments on the because we did our Alea retrospective, and we were able to go through all of the different songs, and we got some comments of the how they liked the idea and we opened up some eyes on some certain things. So it was a lot of fun and got to see a lot of cool things. And do you want to tell them who we met?
Yeah, it was really fun. So one of the people who was at the panel came back the next day as a cosplay of Taylor Swift. And it was in the midnight jumpsuit, the navy blue jumpsuit. And she looked so much like Taylor Swift. It was amazing.
It was a spitting image. Like she came to our panel dressed as Princess Peach, and she looked the spitting image. And then it was amazing because she came up to us and we were giving out stickers and stuff. She's like, "Are you guys going to be here tomorrow?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, I'll come find you." And we're like, "Whoa, why?" And she's like, "I'm coming as Taylor." And we're like, "Okay, cool. That sounds cool." And then literally as we were walking by, I was like, bam, there she is. I was just like, that is Taylor. There she, and she's like, "Oh my God." And so it was so great seeing her.
If you're listening, hi.
Yes, hi. We didn't get your name. Sorry about that. But, and also, I really wanted a picture, but I felt really weird of just taking a picture of you. But you looked so good as Taylor. It was amazing.
Yes, we definitely saw some great cosplay at Des Moines Con. It was a very good time. I think, we had a lot of people at the panel, and it was again really nice to celebrate with other Taylor fans. So shortly after the news that she had owned all of her masters, it was a lot of fun.
Yes. So, do you want to dive in?
Well, I was going to say, we've been kicking off all of these episodes with our first impressions of the numerical movie that corresponds with the album.
Correct.
Yes. So with this being the 9th studio album, do you want to take a second to talk about our first experiences with The Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, man, do we have to?
Yes. I mean, it can be shortened and abbreviated because we actually saw this one together in theaters.
Sure. And I do want to put it out there of like, I just want to let everybody know I do not like this movie. It's tough for me to watch, but I know there are a lot of people out there who like it. So whenever I have criticisms or anything, or we discuss it and stuff like that, and saying like we don't like it, and we have criticisms of it, like if you love it, love it. Like that is our fandom here. Is that if you like whatever you want to like, there's enough Star Wars out there. You can like whatever you want to like. Like there's no bashing of a Star Wars project. I mean, like we literally watch the Star Wars holiday special every year. So like there is no it's all bad or any of it is bad. It's just it's not for me. That is the piece. So I just wanted to put that out there before we dive in.
Yes. So this is just our first reactions. I remember being nervous for the movie and not wanting to really watch trailers or news, and just like I'm just not confident on how this is going to go. Especially after the news of Carrie's passing and how they were open about we needed to do some rewrites and accommodate things and trying to make those really, really difficult decisions of how do we handle Leia's character after the actress has passed.
Right. And them saying that like they used mostly unused shots or reused shots from Force Awakens, that did worry me a bit of like, what are they going to, I kind of hoped they'd cut her character out a bit more, but I don't know. For me, it didn't work great.
No, but it was fun because again, we went together. This was the first Star Wars movie that we'd seen together in theaters. We wore matching Darth Vader onesies, which was super cute. We brought lightsabers. We brought my Yoda plush and cuddled with him during out the movie. So that was a lot of fun. And then
we actually went with my best friend and her husband as well.
Yes. Well, they were not married at the time.
Correct. And at the time they were not married, but they are now married. But yes, correct.
Yeah. So we went with another couple friend pairing. So it was a group of the four of us. And I remember shaking my head in disbelief at like somehow Palpatine returned. I was just like, really, we're doing this? I remember being upset when it was revealed that Rey was a Palpatine. I don't like that decision. And I remember leaving the movie feeling disappointed.
I remember leaving the movie in shock. I was just kind of, it was unfortunate of like, we really loved The Last Jedi, and for us, Rise of Skywalker did not connect enough with that. I think my biggest and like the biggest shock and stuff is, I guess not like, I know there are a lot of people that like the Palpatine, that Rey is a Palpatine, and that she adopted the Skywalker name, and I'm not taking that away. But for me, it was one of the biggest. The biggest thing I liked about Last Jedi is that she wasn't related to anybody, and it could be anybody could be important.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's the argument that like, oh, people can do, like, anybody can have the Force, you're right, but like she was a nobody and she was imperative to the galaxy, and like she was the one that was going to save the galaxy and stuff, and you're like, that could be anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody related to a big powerful character, and I love that. And then to just say, oh yeah, she's related to Palpatine, that kind of took a lot of the wind out of my sails. I've gone back and we watch it every year for our other podcast, Feeling the Force. It gets, I think, better each time because I can try to look at the different things and see what other people who really enjoy it see. But in that first viewing, it was really hard, and I didn't watch it again for a long time.
Yeah. I will say one piece that I liked coming out of it was C-3PO.
Oh, yeah, he was great. He was so funny.
Yeah, it was the best movie for me with C-3PO, and it's just like how sassy he is. And like, I mean, we kind of know he's a sassy guy. He's got strong opinions, and he'll let you know them. But to me, he was a little bit of a beacon in that movie when I was struggling with Rey Palpatine. I was struggling with the lack of movement on Finn's character and not understanding some of the relationships as they were kind of going forward. He was a bright spot.
And I know there's a lot of Reylos out there, and I do know that there are a lot of them that were disappointed in the ending. I understand and respect all Reylos out there, but to me, I wanted Kylo. To me, he was not going to be redeemed out of Last Jedi. And to me, I wanted the movie to just move forward with him being the big bad and not have him be redeemed. And so that kind of also deflated it for me. So yeah, because again, it was kind of like somehow Palpatine returns, and you're like, okay, like I know there are people who enjoy that, and like not to say that they've kind of explained it more as things have gone, but again, in that instant moment, you're just like, what? How did this happen? Mm-hmm. I will also say I was pretty frustrated with the marketing a little bit of this, because I know this is the first time that in the opening scroll they say like a message had been broadcast to the galaxy, and that message had been broadcast before the movie came out in Fortnite. And so it was really kind of frustrating to me of like, this is something that you're trying to get us all to, you have to be a Fortnite player, and I'm not. So I did not see the message, and it was one of those things where you're like, this is the message, this is how it's portrayed. Like, to me, again, Star Wars is about accessibility, and to me that wasn't an accessible thing. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it was not our greatest first experiences with a Star Wars movie.
But again, if you like it, we would love to hear you talk about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know on our Instagram, The Sand Hurts My Feelings Pod, and let us know that maybe you see a Taylor Swift connection of somehow Taylor returned.
But she can't come to the phone right now.
Why?
Because she's dead.
Ooh, look what you made me do. Amazing. Yes. So this has been a long intro, but we've had a lot to talk about. But let's dive into our wonderful picks on Evermore.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'd like you to go first, because I have some stuff to discuss about mine.
Okay. So my pick for Padmé Amidala from Evermore actually matches with an email that we got from a listener. She sent in early her pick for Evermore, and we just didn't happen to record it before she sent it, but I was pleasantly surprised. So we have the same pick. My pick for Evermore for Padmé is Dorothea. To me, this song is sung from the perspective of one of the handmaidens. I don't have one necessarily in mind. It could be collective or kind of interwoven from all of the different handmaidens, but sung from the handmaiden's perspective to Padmé in the E.K. Johnston trilogy. We've mentioned that multiple times on the podcast before. It's a great trilogy. Specifically Queen's Shadow and Queen's Hope, which follow Padmé throughout the events kind of right before Clone Wars, right after Attack of the Clones and kind of up through Revenge of the Sith. So why I picked Dorothea is Padme is busy as a senator and doesn't get to reconnect with her friends or her sisters that are the handmaidens. So kind of going line by line. Hey, Dorothea, do you ever stop to think about me? When we were younger, down in the park, honey, making a lark of the misery. The handmaidens had each other throughout all of the trials of the Phantom Menace and the remaining reign of Queen Amidala when they were all teenagers. The handmaidens would then continue to sing, or Taylor sings, "You got shiny friends since you left town. A tiny screen's the only place I see you now, and I got nothing but well wishes for ya." Padme is in the Senate and has high profile friends now, both Jedis and senators and other foreign leaders. They are the shiny friends. And the only place that the handmaidens now see her is largely on the Hollow News. So that's a little tiny screen. Nothing in person, but they still wish the best for each other because they have such deep bonds and connections. And then we hit the chorus. But it's never too late to come back to my side. The stars in your eyes shined brighter in Tupelo. And if you're ever tired of being known for who you know you'll always know me. So the bonds of the handmaidens are deeper than the political alliances and the moves that Padme makes in her life as a senator. And her sisters are always there for her. And I mean, kind of a little bit of spoilers for the books. They do talk about Padme getting ready for her marriage to Anakin, and she keeps it a secret, but she asks the handmaidens for help with different pieces, and they have questions about it, but they don't hesitate. They don't ask the questions. They help her with what she needs in preparations for the wedding. So to me, that kind of speaks to those moments. Continuing on with the lyrics. Dorothea, you're a queen selling dreams, selling makeup and magazines. From you, I'd buy anything. Padme was a queen, and she believes in the dream of a peaceful galaxy, and many of the handmaidens would do and do anything for Padme. Do you ever stop to think about me when it was calmer, skipping the prom just to piss off your mom and her pageant schemes? This kind of refers to the pageantry of being Queen Amidala and then a senator. And in the E.K. Johnston trilogy, Lady Panaka, so Captain Panaka's wife, was the mom to all of the handmaidens, and they knew how to get around her and, kind of go behind her back. And dang, Dorothea, they all want to be ya, but are you still the same soul I met under the bleachers? Well, I guess I'll never know, and you'll go on with the show. Padme is inspirational both as a queen and as a senator, but the handmaidens wonder if she's changed since they've all parted ways and continued to grow as people. The handmaidens will never know because Padme stays in the Senate, doesn't come back to Naboo often, and is engrossed in her work and puts on a face, just like she did when she was queen. And so they wonder how much of Padme is left under Amidala. That is my pick.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'd not even thought about that with the handmaidens. So yeah, that's really well thought out and argued. Well done.
Thank you.
So the reason I wanted to go second is I have a small question. I have kind of given away what my pick is on this. I wonder if you remember that I've kind of given it away. I'm not giving you the name, but there's been hints. Do you have any idea what you think mine is? It's okay if you don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay. So if you remember when you were doing for Leia, your pick for Evermore was?
Marjorie.
I immediately after that said, "Oh my gosh, we matched!" And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, we didn't." And the reason we didn't match is because I picked Marjorie for Padme.
Kind of two sides of the same coin.
Correct. And so to me, it was Marjorie is Padme. And so that's kind of why it was like I thought we had matched. Like you chose it, which again, I think is really cool about this, is that you chose Leia for Marjorie of like as Taylor singing to her grandmother, Marjorie. And to me, I have it as Padme is Marjorie and Leia is singing to her grandmother, which is Padme. Not grandmother, but that kind of the same information. And so I think it works really well through Padme because, again, starting with the lyrics, never starts off strong with never be so kind, you forget to be clever. and never be so clever you forget to be kind. And to me, that's kind of Padmé's mentality, is that she's always clever, always smart, but she's always tries to hold on to that kindness. And I think that piece was definitely transferred to Leia and that kind of stuff. And I continuing down. It says, and if I didn't know better, I'd think you were talking to me now. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were still around. What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive. You're alive. You're alive in my head. What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive, so alive. And to me, I know Padmé, or Leia, didn't get to know Padmé really at all. And we haven't gotten a ton of comics or books or media or anything about her thinking about Padmé. There's one comic, I think, that has Leia interacting with the lost dress of Padmé's lakeside dress. And I think that's about as much as we've gotten. But to me, the what died didn't stay dead is while Leia didn't get raised by Padmé, most of Padmé's ideals got transferred to her either through just genetics or also Bail Organa specifically trying to instill things and embody Padmé in Leia and try to pass those things down.
Or the Force.
That too. No, that is also too. Then it continues to never be so polite, you forget your power. Never wield such power, you forget to be polite. And so this one, I think, is kind of unfortunately double-sided and in a kind of a negative for Padmé, because her power is taken from her by George, as I talked about in Lover. And because so she does become too polite and just is just like, nope, I'm going to be polite and only worry about Anakin. But I don't think Leia ever does that. I think she always remembers her power, but is also remembering to not gain that power. And once she has that power, she doesn't wield it in a negative light. She's always looking for the younger. And to me, that's what Padmé should have been. And then again, we go back into the chorus, which we hear and we've already done. But then the big thing that I wanted to bring up was, so I should have asked you questions. I should have asked you how to be, asked you to write it down for me, should have kept every grocery store receipt, because every scrap of you would be taken from me. Watched as you signed your name, Marjorie, all your closets of backlog dreams, and how you left them all to me. And so to me, that's like everything has been taken of Padmé from Leia. And so like Leia also loses Alderaan and everything, but like she never really knows who her mother is. Like as we hear about her in Return of the Jedi of like, oh, I remember her as just like being sad, but and kind of in a light, but like she never really knows who she is. She never understood the power that Padmé had, the compassion, those kinds of things. And so that was what really hit that to me. And then again, we go back into the chorus, and that she's still around. But what died didn't stay dead. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were still around. I know better, but I still feel you all around. I know better, but you're still around. And so that Padmé's essence and meaning and feelings for and desires for the galaxy are still around in Leia, because they both wanted peace and justice for everyone. And so that was my pick.
So you said that you see this as like Leia singing this about Padmé or to Padmé?
About Padmé, yes. So it is, to me, you picked it to me, this is like Padmé. Again, my literalness is coming in of like, I didn't think to pick Leia as picking it for singing to Padmé, but I was like, oh, this is Padmé. Padmé is Marjorie. And so that's where I was like, it is technically still Leia singing, but I picked it for the Padmé song.
I think that's really cool. Of like, we both picked this song for the same reasons. I mean, we picked it for the different women, but again, it's two sides of the same coin. It's the who's doing the singing and who's being sung about. So yeah, it's about legacy. It's about connection and lessons. It's about grief. And so yeah, I just think that's really interesting that we have the same pick.
Yeah, it says, and that's kind of why I was like, yeah, we have to. Oh wait, no, we don't. And so again, there's an amazing YouTube video that I will again share that I shared already for the Leia, but it really connects the two, and how Padmé's legacy is kept alive through Leia. And so yeah, like it is. We both picked the exact same song for almost the exact same reasons, just again from different perspectives, and the double-sided coin. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's, I think, as close as we've been to getting to being paired, other than the time when I switched my pick the morning of. But I think this is a better, closer actual pick.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've matched in terms of like the moments where we've both picked a song from an album and said this is Padmé on Mustafar, but they've been different songs.
Yeah. So, awesome.
All right. I am looking forward to our next episode talking about Padmé and Midnights, because I'm going to tease my pick for Padmé from Midnights is like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. So I'm very excited.
Oh man, now I have to think, because I should know that. So, but I'm like, do I know which one that is? Oh darn, on the spot.
Well, you've got some time to sweat that out, and I will relieve your anxiety.
No, I think I know what the song is. I think, and well, that we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm not going to say what I think it is, but I think I know what it is. But we'll see. See if I know you as a husband.
Yes. Yeah, it's a test. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe and follow us on all of the social media platforms and iTunes and Spotify. It really helps get word out about the podcast. You can find us everywhere at the Sand Hurts My Feelings pod. And then Blue Sky is Sandy Feelings.
Correct. And then the Sand Hurts My Feelings pod at gmail.com. Also, if you want to just communicate through Facebook or Instagram, just leave comments on any of our photos. We're trying to be better at that. It's kind of, we post our clips, and no clips, because again, with Instagram, it's a little more difficult to post that, but we post the thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let us know what you think about the song, which pick we did, which one you like better, any of those things. We love communicating with fans, and yeah, we hope to have a lot more of you. And we're always looking for one of our listeners from here. Kalia suggested we go to Des Moines Con, so if you have any suggestions on, hey, you should come to this con near me, we will absolutely think about it and look into it. So we hope y'all have an amazing next month listening to Reputation with no qualms, because it's back in the family. But may the Force be with you.
Forever and always.
May the Force be with you.
Forever and always, yeah.